In just a few weeks, public schools across the state will receive star ratings. It's part of the Nevada School Performance Framework, basically the state's school accountability system. Schools are given ratings between a 1-star and 5 stars. But there was some debate about potential changes to the criteria, leading to a delay in these star ratings coming out, but now they are. Joining me to talk about the changes and what to expect is the Nevada Superintendent of Public Instruction, Dr. Steve Canavero. Dr. Canavero, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mitch.
Let's kind of refresh a little bit. Brief history on the Nevada School Performance Framework. What is it and why do we have it?
Yeah, you said it in your opening statements. It's our public accountability so that we're held accountable and in a transparent way to the public, in a simple, comprehensive score, so a star rating system, established in 2012, and it went from 12, 13, and 14, and then we had reasons for kind of no star ratings in 15, 16, and then we're starting again under a new federal law, so starting back up.
Okay, so what do you measure historically versus now?
Yeah, so some common measurements: academic achievement, right. Math, science, English language arts. Those are consistent. Growth, so student progress, where a student starts at the end of one year and where they end at the following year. That's progress or growth, we call it. We began measuring that in the old system, and we have now sort of emphasized it again in the new system. We also, though, we heard from stakeholders in our development of the framework of the STAR system. School climate matters, and so we have school climate now when we didn't have it before, and student engagement matters, and so we look at absences or chronic absenteeism now in the new framework over the last framework, for example.
Why the change from the old framework to the new?
Well, we had an opportunity. So we had an opportunity with the passage of the new federal Every Student Succeeds Act, and we had an opportunity with the state's alignment. So the state now has a 5-year strategic plan that is consistent with the framework. So the framework's aligned to that. The star rating system's aligned to that. So we had an opportunity to go back in and sort of remodel and freshen up the way that we rate our schools.
When last visit, when you first talked about this, there were some concerns about the star ratings, which are coming out. Because, first of all, the public is going to be a little confused because they know schools already and they have star ratings.
Yep.
These are going to be different.
Yep.
And the rating on their school, if they're 4-star school, under the new system, probably not going to be a 4-star. They may actually go down. We'll talk about that in a second more in depth. But that was one of the reasons that the association of, Nevada Association of School Superintendents had some concerns. They sent you a letter, you sent a response back. They had some concerns about timing and communication, limited reliability on primary measures, but the inability to score a full range of points. They felt like, in some cases, I guess, no matter what they did, the rating is going to go down, which kind of discounts a lot of hard work that they've done.
Yeah.
Did you make any changes as a result of this communication? I know you took some time to delay these ratings. Have you made any changes?
In terms
of the star rating.
Yeah, there've been a few changes. So that was part of one piece of feedback that we had received from a lot of different stakeholders. So we took all of the feedback back to an advisory group. So I have a diverse set of sort of statewide leaders. Some superintendents are also on that advisory group who really helped me in the development of our federal plan, right? The Every Student Succeeds Act plan, which this is a large part of. And we had deeper and more conversations about the framework. A few changes. One, really overemphasizing the notion that this is our starting line. So the state has a 5-year plan to be the fastest improving state in the nation. So the state board said in 5 years, we're going to be the fastest improving state in the nation. The framework needs to be aligned with that. This is our starting line. So earlier, and I think part of what animated this letter was that we had looked at this as a measure of against our finishing line at that 5th year. So we transitioned. We said, look, let's take where we're starting against those higher expectations. And then let's reconsider this over the course of the 5 years and map our progress towards our 5-year goal. So the notion of a starting line was certainly key. The other is the phased implementation. And so we all saw that we need to support our school leaders, our system leaders, as well as our parents and our communities in better understanding what the STAR system looks like. Even if you were to draw a connection between stars and stars, the last star rating we had was in 2014. So a lot has happened since then. So we're encouraging folks to think of this as the starting line. This is brand new for this year. This is where we are against a vision to be the fastest improving state in the nation, the higher expectations, a more holistic view of school improvement. But I think more importantly, that this is not blame and shame. This is to be used for continuous improvement. And so we have been, we launched in the phased implementation, we launched the data in September, which we're obligated to do by law. We have been working since September to go out and work with our districts on, what does this mean? Let's get into the framework, work with school principals. How can you use this for continuous improvement? We'll continue those all the way up into and actually past the December 14th informational ratings, which we'll launch. The one area that we also changed was high school.
Okay.
So elementary and middle, the informational ratings will come out in December, like we had planned.
When you say informational, you mean the STAR?
The STAR, okay. Yeah, the STAR. And the reason why I'm calling them informational is this is our first chance to look at them, and so they're informational. They're, we have already made decisions related to schools that need additional supports, so this doesn't really have any impact there. But an opportunity for a soft launch, I think, is what you called it as well. Same idea. But what we also learned on the high school side is that we have some deeper engagement to do around the College and Career Ready Index. And so high school will come out in September of 2018, but we need some additional time to work with our school community and our advisory group to understand the full index of point earning values there.
So December 14th, the public will be able to see these informational or
Correct.
STAR ratings?
Yep.
How do they do that?
NevadaReportCard.com. So we have a single portal for all of our accountability and transparency information. It includes a revised version of the STAR rating and a revised reporting that parents can get a lot of information for.
Okay, so I'm a parent. I look in there. I look at my school. I see the rating. Maybe it changed. Should I be concerned? How should I interpret that?
Yeah, what do you do with that information?
What do I need to do? Do I need to go back to my school and say, the school organizational team as we have here, say, this isn't very good. Overnight, it's changed. What do you want them to think about?
What does it mean? Yes, I would hope that parents, and that's the whole idea behind the transparency that really Nevada has had for decades, that to inform parents about the school performance and to enable them with the opportunity to then come to their SOT or to go to their principal and ask some questions about, what does this mean? We try to be as explicit as we can in the language that we use, but sometimes it's not easily conveyed, and so we encourage families to go to the school. Depending upon what the STAR rating is, we know, again, going back to the higher expectations, what we can say now under this framework that we couldn't say before is that a 3-star school is meeting the state's performance expectations in proficiency or growth, so in student performance. That is unique. That is, I think, a major innovation from the prior framework, which kind of compared Nevada to Nevada. We kind of compared ourselves to ourselves. This actually compares us against a standard, and that standard is the starting line to be the fastest improving state in the nation. So there are higher expectations here. We know 200 plus schools in our elementary and middle are already meeting that expectation. They're a 3-star or above. But we also know that there are some schools that are not. So generally speaking, 1-star, there's a slight increase in 1 and 2-star schools and 4-star schools under this framework.
Okay.
A decrease in 3-star schools, and then about roughly the same 5-star.
I think we all understand that our schools need to improve as life changes, technology changes, that sort of thing. But aren't there, if a school goes down in a rating, there can there not, some financial, schools that get some sort of special funding because they've been doing well. If they're suddenly not meeting that expectation, that just takes money away, doesn't it?
So maybe. Yeah, maybe. We have so the STAR rating system is used for many things. Let's just talk about accountability, because that's what, and so we obviously use that first STAR rating as a way to identify schools in need of support. And then subsequent to that, we look deeper to understand what supports are already provided and then what supports are necessary. The federal law, of course, requires us to work deeply with the lowest 5% of schools, and then districts to work with schools that have the biggest achievement gaps, the difference between subpopulations within their schools. So some of that comes with funding. Absolutely. And so those supports come with funding. In the 2015 legislative session, and then again passed in 17, we have additional dollars because this happens even if you have a school that has been improving under the same framework, and it improves out of the bottom 5%, so they're no longer eligible for federal funds. So we actually have what we call kind of sustainability funding, so that we can deeply support a school that's in need of support. And then as they improve and they lose that because they've been improving, we have funds that actually come in, state funds that come in behind that to help support the sustainability of those efforts at the school, rather than just a one-year drop. So all of that is taken into consideration.
Okay. So a lot of issues for parents to consider. Again, let's talk about, so it comes out December 14th, and tell me one more time, parents, where can they go to find this information, which I'm sure they're going to be interested in now?
Yeah, NevadaReportCard.com.
Okay. Dr. Steve Canavero, State Superintendent, State of Nevada. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch.
You bet.